Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another video by AwesomeVacuums. So in this video I'm going to be doing another service video on my cousin's Dyson Ball Animal 2 vacuum cleaner. So it's not really much different than my multi-floor 2, it's just this is the full-size version. And as you can see here, it definitely does need to be serviced. First thing I noticed right off the bat is this bin is absolutely filled to the brim, so I'm gonna have to dump that out before we begin. And the model number on this is UP20. It's also an 11 amp motor too, just like my multi-floor 2. And also, you can see here, if you look here, it's all scratched up, but not much I can do about that. So what I'm going to do in this video is just clean it up, wash the filters, and get it back up and running. So let's get into it. Alright, so I figured I'd give you a quick look at it before we get started. So, as you can see, it's definitely in pretty bad shape. It definitely needs to be cleaned. As you can see, it's all covered in dirt and dog hair. Now, I did empty the bin before doing this clip. As you can see, there's nothing in there. It's just very dirty. Yeah, as you can see, that you have to wash that out. So, yeah. So, here's what it looks like inside here. Very dirty. It definitely needs to be cleaned. And as you can see, it's missing the upholstery nozzle and dusting brush that's supposed to be on this crevice tool, but they probably have it at the house somewhere. So yeah. Everything else looks alright. It's just the power head and cyclone and the whole machine really just needs to be cleaned. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm gonna start with the cleaner head. So to remove that, there's just this little clip down here, as you can see. So I'll just remove that. Let me see if I can hold it. There we go. Okay. Need a little bit of help, but now should just pull right out. There we go. And it doesn't look like it's clogged in there, so that's a good sign. So I'll just put the machine in there, and we'll have a closer look at the cleaner head. So just flip it around, and to open these, just undo these little gray things, and it pulls out. As you can see, it is quite filthy in here. So, I'll wash that, and this wheel here is all covered in hair. So, yeah. So now I'll just remove the brushes, and in order to do that, I'm just going to need to remove, there's 2 small Phillips screws on each side here. So I'll do that. I got my magnetic tray, which is a must-have if you're going to be repairing vacuum cleaners. I also use these for repairing lawnmowers and other stuff like that too. Very handy to have. So now with these screws out, it should just pull right out. There we go. Okay, so I'll pull that out, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of hair in there. So I'll just pull this out. Now, I believe you can actually remove these things inside here, so I'll do that here in a second, but before I do, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this little oh, and I just dropped it. These the brushes are actually in pretty good shape, as you can see. Alright, so I brought you a little closer. Now I'm gonna remove these pieces here, and this is a T10. So just gonna take this off, and now I'm using a regular screwdriver on this instead of my drill, because my drill will not fit in here, unfortunately. So there's one. Now I'll go ahead and remove the other one here. Where are we? If I can get it in there. There we go. Okay. Me too. Alright. So now, just pull them both out like that. And now the reason I'm taking these out is because, as you can see, a lot of crap builds up in there. So you can see all this hair that just builds up. Same in here too. So actually, while I'm here, I'll get the vacuum. Take out some of this. There we go. Suck up some of that. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and put these off to the side. So now I'm going to remove this little air channel here. And I believe this is, those are T15s. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to my drill. One. Two, and I believe, yeah, okay. So now that pulls out. And get these screws out of there. Put that, and you can see stuff also likes to build up in here, and I really do not like these air channel things. I always, on my multi-floor too, I actually took this out, but I'm not going to do that because this isn't my machine, so I'm going to put it back after. But you can see all the stuff that just builds up in here. So go ahead and try and get out what I can now. So just clean out some of that. Yep. Alright, so now there's the power head all stripped down. And now the only thing I will do here, and ooh, that's not very good. You can see this wheel here has been completely damaged. So I'll remove that. And I may have another one lying around, so I'll look into that. Alright, so now I'm going to turn my attention to the cyclone unit. So let's just have a look at this filter. And yeah, that's pretty bad. So let me go ahead and set that out. A little bit of hair got stuck in my vacuum. So this filter is going to get washed. So now, here comes the fun part, disassembling the cyclone. So, here, so here you can see all this crap that's built up in there, so I'm going to have to wash that later on. So the best way to disassemble these cyclones is by using one of these little paint scraper things. So I'm just gonna separate these little like that. And I really do not like doing this. I always feel like it's gonna break because this plastic is so thin. There we go. And now there's gonna be a little spring here, so be prepared for that. Right here. So I'll just add that to the magnet tray, and you can see how filthy this is. Jeez. And now I'll just go ahead and remove the cyclone spring thing because I don't want it to get lost. So I'll just take the spring out. So here's that. You can see how filthy this is. Actually, I'll try and clean it up a little bit now with the dusting brush. made a little bit of improvement. Still gonna wash it though, obviously. And you can see there's still crap coming out of there. So, yeah. So, okay. So now that should just separate like that. And so, yeah. As you can see, I got a pretty big pile of parts to wash here. Alright, so here we are about a day later. All the parts have been washed, cleaned, and dried. So now I'm gonna start by putting the cleaner head back together. So looking at that, you can see it came out pretty good actually. Just wiped it down, and I also cleaned these things up here too, so I'll just put them back in. Alright, and now I'm gonna need my let's see here. I think it's these screws here. Yeah. Okay. So now let's put those back in. There we go. So 1 and 2. And there's a bit of hair there. Okay. There we go. Alright, I'm back. I misplaced this air channel thing, but I found it. So anyway, I'm gonna put that back on. Take the screws and make sure my drill is on a low torque setting, because this is plastic, so I don't want to over torque. So like that, that's good enough there. And let's see, this needs to go in there, like that, and one more. Alright, so now we can put the brush folders back in. And yes, these are 2 separate, on these here, you guys probably already know this, but these are 2 separate brushes. So anyway, so you just line up this little tab with that, and that should be in there like so. Okay. Alright, and now take the 2 screws and take my Phillips screwdriver, which the screws do not seem to like to there we go. Alright, now we're back in, so I'll do the same thing on this side here, try to make sure I'm in frame for this. So same thing, find the tab, insert, get in there. Where is it? Ah, okay, there we go. So now I'll just put these 2 screws back in. There we go. Okay. And just make sure. I always like to check for brush roller play. And this one here looks pretty good. So now I'll put the base plate back on. Like that. Alright, so now I'm gonna put the cyclone back together. There we go. Okay, now I can just click all these back in. Okay, that's done. Alright, so now I'll just put the screen back in place. Yeah, this plastic is very, very thin. Alright, so there's the cyclone assembly all done. Put that off to one side. So now, next thing I'm gonna turn my attention to is the bin. Gonna get that all cleaned up. I'll use that in a second, but I'm just gonna clean it out with some Fabuloso. Okay, now just take a cloth, wipe it up. Okay. Whoops. Do that. Just wipe that. Alright, so now we need to take some Pledge. Just spray a little bit in there. And just do that. And you can see that has managed to clear it up a little bit. Okay, just do a little more. Now, just be careful when you do this. You don't want to put too much. Okay, do the outside. Clean that up. And now, next thing I want to clean is these seals. Little trick. And I'm starting to run a little low on this stuff, but anyway. If you use some of this Pledge on these seals, it will make them look like new. like that. So now you can see that bin actually looks pretty good. So now I'll just put this back in place. Like so. And there you go. That's all nice and clean. So now I'll get the main machine itself and start putting parts back on it. So I'll just put this cyclone on there. And now I will be getting new filters for this, but just for right now, I'm just going to put the olds back in. And actually, I'll do the same up here. Put that back in. And next thing I need to do is put this back. If I can get it lined up. There we go. And I'll just twist it so it clicks 3 times. Like that. So now I'll just put the cleaner head back on it. And then we should be good to go after that. And I hope you guys can see this. Just move you up a little bit. And now just put the clip back in place. Show it that way. Like so. And now the machine is all put back together. Alright, so I brought you guys back a little further. So now I'm gonna plug the machine in and see how well it runs. So I'll just, there we go. So let's see what it does. So, as you can see, it runs perfectly. So, hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Awesome Vacuums. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.